All right, so let's jump into this whole Xero Shoes Denver canvas boot thing.
Yeah,
We've been getting a ton of questions about it lately. And,
really so.
people are wondering, can these minimalist shoes really handle the cooler weather?
Yeah.
So we're going deep on this specific model today.
Mm-hmm.
The canvas version, not the leather.
Right.
We're going to help you figure out, does it deserve a spot in your Barefoot shoe collection?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really interesting about this boot is that it kind of represents Xero's attempt to hit that sweet spot between minimalist design and practicality for everyday wear.
Right.
So you're getting that barefoot feel,
Yeah.
the Xero drop heel the wide toe box,
Right.
but with some added features like water resistance and a cozy lining.
So right off the bat, we're talking about that sweet spot between like Barefoot purity and, real-world usability.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody who's already deep into the barefoot shoe world.
Yeah.
What are some of the standout features of the Denver canvas that they should be paying attention to?
Well, I think the canvas upper is really key here.
Okay.
I mean, it immediately makes the boot lighter and, of course, vegan-friendly compared to its leather counterpart.
Right.
And, weighing in at just 10.6 ounces for a men's size 9, you're barely going to notice these on your feet.
Wow.
Now, while the canvas is water repellent, remember, it's not fully waterproof.
Gotcha.
Think, light rain or damp conditions, not like slogging through puddles.
Okay.
And then inside, you've got that flannel lining, perfect for those crisp autumn days.
So we're not talking about like hardcore winter boots here.
No.
It's more like extending that barefoot feel into the shoulder seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ah.
But what about the performance?
Yeah.
I mean, the reviews that we've seen seem to be all over the place when it comes to durability.
Yeah, the durability is where things get a little tricky.
Yeah.
You see people that rave about having their Denver canvas boots for years with no issues.
Yeah.
And then other people are reporting sole separation or stitching problems after only a few months.
Right.
So it's definitely a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But Xero does offer a 5,000-mile sole warranty.
They do.
That's a pretty bold statement, right?
It is.
What do you make of that warranty in light of these mixed reviews?
It's interesting. I mean, to me, that 5,000-mile warranty says that they are confident in the longevity of their soles.
Okay.
So it makes you wonder if maybe the durability issues that some people are experiencing might stem from the canvas upper rather than the sole itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good point because canvas by its nature is going to be less robust than leather.
Exactly.
And speaking of the upper,
Yeah.
how does that water repellent treatment actually hold up in real-world conditions?
It does a decent job at repelling light, rain, and moisture.
Okay.
But I will say user reviews suggest that it's not going to keep your feet dry in a downpour or heavy snow.
So again, think of it as more of like a safeguard against an unexpected shower.
Right.
Rather than like a truly waterproof solution.
Exactly. And then when it comes to warmth, user feedback is, again, a bit mixed. Some people find them perfectly cozy, for mild winter days, even light snow.
Right.
But then you have others complaining about cold feet once the temperatures really drop.
So it sounds like those shoulder season activities we were talking about earlier are definitely the sweet spot for the Denver canvas.
Right.
It's not going to replace your dedicated winter boots for like serious cold or snow.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about sizing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of comments about Xero sizing being a bit tricky.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Well, Xero shoes are generally known for having a wider toe box than conventional shoes.
Yeah.
Which is great for natural foot movement and comfort.
Right.
But it does mean that you might need to adjust your thinking a little bit when it comes to sizing.
Okay.
Most people find the Denver canvas to be true to size.
Okay.
But if you have narrower feet or typically fall between sizes, sizing down might be a good idea.
Gotcha. And I imagine that the canvas will stretch a bit with wear as well.
Right.
So factor that in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also seeing some chatter about the insole slipping around.
Yeah.
How widespread is that issue based on the user feedback?
It's definitely a recurring complaint, but not everybody experiences it.
Right.
But it seems common enough to be worth mentioning.
Okay.
For some people, it's just a minor annoyance.
Yeah.
But for others, it's a deal breaker.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially if they're planning to be active in these boots.
Yeah, that insole slippage could get pretty annoying, I imagine,
Right.
on a long walk or a hike.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered like the basics of the Denver canvas,
Yeah.
its construction, and some early hints about performance.
Mm-hmm.
But let's dive deeper into user experiences
Yeah.
comparisons to competitors
Yeah.
and see what kind of overall picture emerges.
Absolutely.
What do you say?
Let's explore further. I think it's especially important to compare the Denver canvas
Yeah,
to other options in its category.
right.
In
To see where it stacks up.
Yeah, and really help people decide, is this the right choice for them?
Right, because after all, we're all about helping you find the perfect barefoot shoe for your needs.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just telling you what to buy.
Right.
So stay tuned, because in the next segment, we'll be tackling user reviews,
Yes.
comparing the Denver canvas to some of its rivals,
Mm-hmm.
and really getting into the nitty-gritty of whether this boot lives up to the hype.
Let's do it. So let's get into what people are actually saying about the Denver canvas. We've combed through a ton of user reviews.
Yeah.
And one thing is clear. Comfort is a major selling point for this boot.
Right.
People consistently praise how comfortable they are straight out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense. You know, given what we know about Xero's focus on natural foot shake,
Mm-hmm.
that wide toe box is a game changer for a lot of folks.
Absolutely.
Especially those who've been, crammed into conventional shoe their whole lives.
Right. It's not just about comfort, though.
Okay.
That wide toe box actually has a ton of benefits for foot health.
Interesting.
You know, when your toes can spread out naturally,
Yeah.
it improves balance circulation
Right.
and can even help prevent issues like bunions and hammer toes.
So it's not just about, like, feeling good.
Right.
It's about doing good for your feet in the long run.
Exactly.
I like that. But let's be real. Not all the feedback is glowing.
No.
Those durability concerns we touched on earlier
Yeah.
keep popping up in reviews.
Definitely the canvas upper seems to be the main point of weakness.
Okay.
Some users have reported tearing or premature wear, particularly in high-stress areas.
Interesting.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Especially if you're planning to use these boots for more rugged activities.
So maybe not the best choice for, like, scrambling over rocks or
Right.
bushwhacking through the wilderness.
Probably not.
Okay. And then there's the whole insole slippage issue.
Yeah.
It seems like a minor annoyance, but, like, how are people actually dealing with it?
You know, some people just live with it.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some DIY solutions out there.
Okay.
Double-sided tape or a thin layer of spray adhesive seem to be popular fixes.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hack,
Yeah.
but it can make a big difference in terms of comfort and keeping those insoles in place.
Interesting. It's almost like you're getting a chance to, like, customize the fit and feel of the boot
Yeah.
to your liking.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about sustainability.
Yeah.
Xero makes some pretty bold claims
They do.
about their commitment to eco-friendly practices.
Mhm.
How does the Denver canvas stack up in that regard?
You know, I think Xero is refreshingly transparent about their environmental impact.
Okay.
The Denver canvas has a carbon footprint of 8.2 kilograms CO2 per pair,
Wow.
which is significantly lower than the industry average.
That's impressive.
Especially for a boot.
Yeah.
They're using 23% recycled content in the soles,
Okay.
and the canvas itself is 40% biodegradable.
Interesting.
So, you know, it's not perfect,
Right.
but they are making a conscious effort.
Yeah. And that's got to count for something.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're trying to find that balance between
Right.
performance affordability and reducing their environmental footprint.
Exactly.
Speaking of affordability, let's talk about price.
Okay.
At $59.99,
Yeah.
down from $119.99,
Right.
the Denver canvas seems like a pretty good deal,
Yeah.
especially compared to some other minimalist boots out there.
It's a steal, really,
Yeah.
especially considering that 5,000-mile sole warranty.
Right. But let's not just talk in a vacuum here.
Okay.
How does the Denver canvas actually compare to some of the other popular options
Yeah.
in the minimalist boot market?
Right.
Let's bring in some competitors.
Okay.
I'm thinking of boots like the Vuver Barefoot Tracker FG
Mm-hmm.
and the Lems Boulder boot,
Yeah.
both popular choices for barefoot enthusiasts.
Right.
What are the key differences we should be highlighting?
Well, the Viva Barefoot Tracker FG is a beast when it comes to waterproofing.
Okay.
It's fully waterproof, which the Denver canvas isn't,
Right.
but that waterproofing comes at a price.
Literally.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
The Tracker FG is significantly heavier
Okay.
and more expensive than the Denver canvas.
So if you need serious weather protection,
Yeah.
the Tracker FG is probably worth the investment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for something lighter, more affordable for everyday wear,
Right.
the Denver canvas might be a better fit.
Exactly.
What about the Lems Boulder boot?
Yeah, the Boulder boot is a classic choice for a reason.
Okay.
It's got that classic minimalist aesthetic, a nice wide toe box,
Mm-hmm.
and it's known for being very comfortable.
Yeah.
However, it lacks any waterproofing features.
Okay.
And the warranty isn't as generous as what Xero offers with the Denver canvas.
So it's a trade-off.
Mm-mm.
You're getting that lemon quality and a comfortable fit,
Right.
but you're sacrificing some of the weather resistance and warranty protection
Yeah, it's like...
that the Denver canvas provides.
Yeah, it seems like choosing the right boot really comes down to your individual priorities and needs.
Absolutely. It's about understanding what each boot excels at
Mm-hmm.
and matching that to your lifestyle and the conditions that you'll be wearing them in.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We talked about comfort, performance,
Yeah.
durability concerns, sustainability, price,
Yeah,
and even compared the Denver canvas to some of its rivals.
we did.
I think we're starting to paint a pretty clear picture
Yeah,
of who this boot is for and what it's best suited for.
I agree.
But before we jump to any conclusions,
Okay.
there's one more crucial aspect we need to explore,
Okay.
the why behind the Denver canvas.
The why?
Yeah, tell me more.
Well, we've talked about the features,
Right.
pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the underlying philosophy? Why did Xero create this boot in the first place?
Interesting.
What need were they trying to fill?
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the bigger picture,
Right.
the driving force behind the design.
Exactly.
Let's dive into that in part 3.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we've dissected the Denver canvas,
We have.
the good, the bad,
Mm-hmm.
and the insole slickage.
Right.
But now let's talk about that. Why, you mentioned,
Yeah.
what's the big idea behind this boot?
You know, I think Xero saw a gap in the barefoot market.
Okay,
You've got plenty of hardcore minimalist shoes for the purists out there.
right.
And then you have the heavier boots
Yeah.
for like extreme conditions.
Right.
But what about those of us who want that barefoot feel
Yeah.
in a more versatile everyday package?
So they're kind of bridging the gap between minimalist ideals
Mm-hmm.
and like real world needs.
Exactly.
Like I want to feel the ground,
Yeah.
but maybe not when it's covered in ice.
Right.
Or I'm going to a business meeting.
Exactly. The Denver canvas is for the person who wants to live that barefoot lifestyle more often,
Okay.
not just on the trails or at the gym.
Right.
And I think that's reflected in their choice of the canvas upper.
Okay.
It's lighter, it's more casual,
Yeah.
and frankly, more approachable for everyday wear than leather.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They're making barefoot footwear more accessible to like a wider audience.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get specific.
Okay,
Who are those people?
right.
Who is the Denver canvas really made for?
You know, think of your average urban dweller who
Yeah.
walks a lot
Yeah.
to work errands exploring the city.
Right.
They want comfortable, flexible footwear.
Mhm.
That's a step up from sneakers, but not a clunky boot.
Right. And let's not forget style.
Yeah,
I mean, the canvas upper can be dressed up or down.
and can.
You're not going to feel out of place wearing these with jeans or even chinos.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then you have the light outdoor enthusiast.
Okay.
Someone who enjoys weekend hikes on well-maintained trails,
Yeah.
walks in the park, maybe some gardening.
Right.
They appreciate the barefoot feel, but need a bit more protection
Okay.
than a sandal or minimalist running shoe.
We're not talking about summiting Everest in these, though, right?
No, definitely not.
Okay, good.
Remember, it's water repellent, not waterproof.
Right.
And the grip is optimized for dry surfaces.
Mhm.
And while it offers some warmth,
Yeah.
it's not designed for extreme cold.
Okay.
So think of it as extending your barefoot season into those shoulder months,
Yeah.
spring and fall.
Right. Okay. So urban dwellers, light hikers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Here's an interesting one. People transitioning to barefoot footwear.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you know that wide toe box is a godsend for those used to cramped conventional shoes.
It's like training wheels for your feet.
It is.
You get the benefits of natural movement and toe splay
Yeah,
without going full minimalist warrior right away.
exactly. And at its current price, it's a relatively low-risk way to kind of dip your toes literally into the barefoot world.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Sure.
I think we've really unpacked what Xero's trying to achieve with the Denver canvas and who it's designed for. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
You know, I think if you're looking for a comfortable, versatile boot that lets you embrace that barefoot feel in everyday life,
Right.
the Denver canvas is a solid contender.
Okay.
It's not perfect,
Right.
but it hits a sweet spot in terms of price, performance, and style.
And if you're still on the fence or maybe you want to explore some other options, Head over to beartread.com.
Yes.
We've got in-depth reviews of all sorts of minimalist footwear.
We do.
Along with tips for choosing the right shoes for your needs.
That's right. We're all about helping you find the perfect fit for your barefoot journey.
Awesome. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure.
Until next time, happy trails.